So a few weeks ago I was talking with a friend of mine and I asked him if he had wanted to go to Cleveland Pride with me. His answer was a resounding no. And so I asked him why. What he said was, in light of everything that's been happening, in light of the Pulse shootings, the increased amount of racism and homophobia in the world currently, he didn't understand why anybody would want to go to Pride. I can't not be proud. I couldn't possibly be myself if there was a section of myself that I wasn't proud of. I wouldn't be happy, I wouldn't be accepting, and proud of who I was. I think pride is important. In fact, it's probably the most important, to be not only proud of yourself and proud of who you are and who you love and who you want to love, but also proud of what you do in absolutely every facet and aspect of your life, because, I mean, you should be proud of yourself. So for those of you guys that don't know, yesterday at around 5 o'clock, Cleveland Pride, the organization, announced that Cleveland Pride, which was slated for August 13th, was going to be canceled. They provided a press release for what their reasoning was for canceling Pride, and in the press release what they said was that they didn't feel like they had enough time to engage in the development of awareness programs and training that we believe is critical to today's environment. Thus, they canceled Pride. And to be honest, I find this as just massive bullshit, because Pride's not for the population. Pride's not for everybody else. Pride's for the gays. Pride is so that every queer individual can unequivocally look around and say, I'm not alone. Pride is for the kid coming into his own in high school or middle school, praying that there's some type of community of people similar to him. Or Pride is for the adult who's just now coming into their sexuality and really wants to know that they're not alone. Pride is so that the gay community and the trans community and the lesbian community can come together and they can be united and they can be a community. Just last week we hosted the RNC, and just 2 years ago we hosted the Gay Games, and just about a month ago, within 48 hours, we were able to plan a giant parade, which was one of the biggest sports events ever. So if it's not that Cleveland can't plan the event or hold the event, are we just running scared? Is it because that Cleveland has now had a recent coming out as conservative given the hosting of the RNC here, and that they're afraid for the safety of the population and the safety of the gay population? Is it that we're letting fear finally dictate what we're gonna do, and the fact that we've canceled what is being proud to be gay? Because Pride is not just a parade and Pride is not just a festival, Pride's a symbol. One of the other things that was mentioned was that we're not having Pride in light of everything that happened in Orlando. But there have been scores of Pride parades and Pride festivals following the events that have happened in Orlando, and some even because of the events that happened. So canceling Cleveland Pride defeats the purpose of what Pride is. Back when Pride first started back in the 1980s, it was more of a funeral march. There were people dying from this disease that nobody knew, and the president wouldn't even admit that there were people dying. AIDS was killing so many people so fast that there was no way of stopping it, and odds are that almost everybody was going to contract it because nobody knew how it was being contracted. And so Pride was a way to say, I may die, and you may die, and undoubtedly we're both going to suffer for it. But you're not going to die alone. You're never going to be alone. Because Pride was a community. And Pride has now since morphed into this big, massive festival of celebrating homosexuality and transsexuality in the most beautiful and colorful of ways humanly possible. And so canceling Pride, even if it is just one festival, kind of sets precedence for how Cleveland is going to handle any type of minority or even gay relations in the future. And if this is the final straw, if this is the year that we stop Pride, there's decades and generations of children that are going to grow up not knowing what Pride is. That if this is the first step, and if finally Pride just kind of fades into the background, and then we no longer have Pride parades, and maybe June is no longer Pride Month, there are going to be generations of children that aren't going to grow up with that innate sense of pride, that they're not going to see just happy and cheerful and proud gay people, because there will be no place in which you can see all of us together. We'll be scattered throughout the entire world, but Pride gives us a day to be together and to be ourselves and to be happy and to revel in everything that is just gay and fruity and rainbow and gay. Pride is there to remind us, and should remind us, that we're not just a me, we're a we. And when we get knocked down, or we get stuff thrown at us, or we get spit on, or we get shot at, Pride is there to help commemorate that and remind us about what we're fighting for. Pride is there to show us that we are never going to falter, we are never going to stop, and we are just going to keep fighting until we are finally equal. And so canceling Pride seems to me like a defeat. Every high school bully, and every parent that's kicked you out of your house, and every homophobic slur, and every single shooter, when they're finally getting what they wanted, that they want to get rid of people being gay. And anything that shows any type of pride in who we are, they win. Pride stands for so much more than a parade. Pride is pride, which is why it's called Pride. It's being happy and being loud and being part of the community and being able to revel and celebrate in who you are. I'm disappointed that, again, a generation is going to grow up without pride. Maybe just a year of people are going to grow up without pride. I'm disappointed that we decided to put ourselves back in the closet as opposed to be proud, and as opposed to do what we've always done, and that's continue to march and continue to fight on. So if you agreed with anything I said in this video, or everything I said in this video, then what I would really like for you to do is to share this video, tweet it, Instagram it, Facebook it, any type of sharing, and share it at Cleveland Pride. Because while Pride has been canceled, they need to know how much pride means to all of us. They need to know that it's much more than just canceling a festival. And everyone needs to know that while Cleveland Pride might be canceled, we still have pride. I still have pride. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see all of you guys the next day that ends in Y. Bye guys.